Alrighty, guys, take a look at page 1. Put your name on this, please. Put your name.
It's already there.
Excellent. Excellent. Our lesson here will take us about 15 minutes. Pay attention. We're going to actually do a bit of an introduction here. We have talked about arcs. We've talked about chords. We've talked about radii. We talked about diameter. Last night, you went over this basic concept. Find any blank space on your notes, please. Everybody find a blank space on your note, anywhere. You have a big margin at the top of your paper. That's a good place for it. I'd like you to draw 2 circles, please. One larger and one smaller, please. Draw 2 circles. Anywhere on your paper. Top margin. Bottom, I don't care. Just make 2 large circles. Okay, last night's video said this. If you take the circumference, trace the circumference of both, and put C and C. Trace the circumference of both. And now I'd like you to trace the diameter of both. We're going to make a ratio.
One's bigger than the other.
That's right. That's not your imagination. That's the way I want it. We learned a real simple, basic idea. When you take the circumference of any circle, regardless of its size, and you divide by the diameter, regardless of its size, you're going to get the exact same number. That number is what? Out loud? What do we call it? We call it pi. We'll use the abbreviation 3.14. And that's whether it's large like Saturn's rings or small like the circumference of an atom. That's true regardless of both. Now I want to point something out to you that in the Bible, some people may tell you that the Bible is just kind of an allegory or mythology or just literature. I want to point out something to you. There are some surprising mathematical facts and science facts in the Bible that were far ahead of its day. Let me show you one. See this little paragraph here? This is describing a furnishing. It's describing this furnishing. It's called the sea in Solomon's temple. It's a piece of furnishing. I want one person in your team to be the reader. I want that reader to read out loud. Everybody else underline all numbers. Go. Read out loud. Yes. I need you to read it. Brandon, start reading there.
Have to take this?
We're on the outer edge.
Where's your cell phone? I can't play referee between you two, okay? All right, I need your attention. 5, listen up. 4, 3, stop talking. 2, look this way. Add 1. Pay attention because I'm going to ask you for numbers. This is a top-bottom view of this piece of furnishing called the sea here. Called the sea. So step 1, Jordan, what was it says it's a certain amount around. What was it around? Okay, when it gives that around, it's actually talking about the inner circumference. The inner part of the bowl. So put this and put 45 feet. We're going to cross it out. Okay. Next one, Ailey, what is it across? 15. Now when it gives the across, it's actually the outside measurement here. That's 15. That's not your true diameter. That's not your true diameter. Yes, go. Okay. Now this bowl, I'll let someone tell me out loud, how deep was this bathtub? How much? 7.5 feet. That's about as deep as your average backyard pool, the deep end. This was actually pretty big. People would wash their hands and feet before they went into God's temple back then. So it's a pretty big. And it says around the outer edge was a rim. Now it talks a little bit about the rim. This was 4 inches thick, so from here to here is 4 inches, and from here to here is 4 inches. This was solid bronze, weighed over a ton. It weighed more than a car. Okay? Now, the true diameter that compared to that circumference is right here. Call that D. So we have the outer green, 15 feet, 1 dash. Okay, 15 feet. And then you have the inner, we have to minus the 8 inches here. 8 inches. Now, as a team, I want you to come up with that D there. I want you to come up with the actual feet, something feet, and something inches as a team. Talk about it. You've got 30 seconds. Go. Talk about it, because I heard 4 people say 7. Those of you who know how to do this, please explain why 7 is wrong. Camille, can you please explain?
I don't know.
Like what we do. How many inches, right? How many inches is a foot? 12 inches. So here's 15 feet. And I just count 8 inches. Right? So how many inches in that foot is left over? Let's try 12 minus 8. 4 inches. So it's only inches. It's not. Why did you say 12?
I got it.
Wait, whenever you.
Okay, Lucas, I heard you explaining. I think you're correct. Lucas, what's the actual diameter, sir? 14 feet and how many inches? 4, you're correct. Now, we have to change this to a decimal. It's 4 out of 12, which is 1/3. So technically it's 14.33, because it's 1/3 of a foot. So now, I'd like you to take the circumference 45 and divide by that true diameter, 14.33, in your calculators. Do this now. 45, which is that circumference, divide by the true diameter, 14.33.
3.14. Oh, it's high. Okay, because you're 15 inches, right? Or no, it is 15 feet.
What'd you guys get?
0.069783.
Should have gotten 3.14. Yes, so that is an actual reference to what we call pi in the Bible. I'd like you to turn over to this page. I'm going to turn on the lights. I'm going to give you about 4 minutes. I really want you to take a moment to look at this. This might astonish you. What are these 3 columns? In the left are scientific facts found in the Bible on the left-hand side. Now, what's very interesting is if you compare, thank you for getting it, if you compare it to the science of its day, the science of the day, what was accepted truth is on the right-hand side, and of course the science now is here. Let me give you an example, okay? The idea, let me just give you one. How many of you have been above 10,000 feet in a mountain? Above 10,000 feet. In other words, it toes close, but I'm talking the top ski of heaven. Okay, in other words, you are high enough where it is hard to breathe. How many of you have felt that, where you're high enough that it's hard to breathe? Why is it hard to breathe? It's because air has weight. It's called pressure. And the more air above you, the more pressure there is. That's why we're used to a certain amount of air pressure. When you go up higher, there's less air, therefore pressure, therefore it's harder to breathe.
Is that why it hurts your ears when you touch the bottom?
That's part of it, because the pressure's changing. Pressure's increasing. That's exactly why. So in Job 28:25, the Bible actually mentions that air itself has weight. Well, the science of the day said air doesn't have weight because they couldn't measure it. But science now, we know, because we've been able to send up satellites and actually measure it all the way up through the upper stratosphere, that air, yes, does have weight. So that's an example, one example where the Bible inserts a scientific truth that according to the science of its day didn't synchronize, but is actually true. Yes, ma'am? You are more than welcome to. I will, you may look it up on Job 25. So what I want you guys to do is just take 2 minutes. This isn't a big deal, but I just want you to read this list here on the left. Read the list. Compare it to the far right. We're going to skip this one. Just tell me which one of these facts most surprised you. Which one of these in the Bible most surprised you? No, look on the left. Yeah, which one on the left most surprised you? Turn on the light. Like here. Okay. I'd love to read it in context. What is it? Job 25 what?
You're better going out?
What was that? Bible game or whatever.
No, it's
Oh, do you just...
Yeah, you just held hands. Now she's mad. You just denied her, dude. Why would you not deny that you haven't seen her? That was really awesome.
Yeah, but it's like with the force of... Yes, you may. All right, guys, I just want you to write down what's most surprising. I'm only going to give you 2 minutes for this, guys. I'm going to come around. You're reading the list. I'm just going to ask you really quick. Which one did you guys find most surprising?
Wait, can I take a
So when are you going to make it up? Dude? Jenna, are you taking yours tonight?
Yeah, see, that's so common. But even during the war in the 1800s, they would do surgery for one person, and then they go to the next person. The Bible, if you read Leviticus, God's commanding them to wash basically every single time. Every single time. This happens, it says wash. This happens, wash. He basically was maximum.
We're all going down this time.
Before they even knew what? Really? Truly? Finish like no blank finish? Okay. Alrighty, guys. We're going to move on into today's lesson.
This way.
Yes, sir.
Do you have extra candy in here?
And the bucket there. Alright. Lights, please, Priscilla. Lights, please, Priscilla. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry to keep you up and down. Don't have to worry about getting a stiff back if you're sitting too long. We're going to do a quick recap of last night's preview video, so I'm going to make this go real fast because a lot of you did a good job of watching the videos, the majority of you. Okay? So, circumference is d times pi. Circumference, I'm going to just rewrite it over here, d times pi. Now, I do not want you to think that I've led you astray because of this on an SAT test. This is your diameter. I'm going to wait for you to write that down. I'll tell you what, the SAT test math, about 50% of it's geometry.
Really? What's the other 50?
Algebra 1, basic computation, problem solving, and a smattering of Algebra 2. No. Yes. Yeah. Okay, now, the diameter is 2 radii. So because this is 2 radii, on the SAT test is this, 2 pi r. I will never use 2 pi r as the equation for circumference. It gets mixed up with the area. But I don't want you to think like Miss Way taught us different. 2 pi r is the same as d pi. If you don't know why, ask your neighbor. It's right there. Okay. Next, I want you to think of this. Everybody look at what I'm doing here. Okay. I am taking this tape measure and I am wrapping it around this circle's circumference. Okay, trying to wrap it around. Wrap it around this circle's circumference with a show of fingers, 1, 2, or 3. 1 being just length, 2 being length and width, 3 being length, width, and height. Everybody at the same time. How many dimensions is circumference? 1, 2, or 3? Show. Fingers. 1, 2, 3. Everybody vote. None of this passive American I don't vote stuff. Okay, I see all over the place. I see a few 2s, a few 3s, most 1s. Guess what? The 1s have it. Let me explain why. Watch. This unwraps to just length. So circumference is only 1 dimension. It is a just length. Therefore, we use single units. There's two ways you can show the circumference of this. We write C equals d pi. Write that down. C equals diameter times pi. Everybody trace the diameter over here. Trace it. Put your pencil on the paper and trace it. D equals what? Out loud? 10. 10 what? Get in the habit of including units. Okay, your radius from center to edge. Radius, out loud, 5 meters. Good call. Now we come over here. I'm going to circle the 10, bring it over right here. So I could say my diameter here is 10 pi meters. Done. That's called pi form. I actually prefer that. Instead of working it out, yes. Most of the time you can use pi form. So you do 10 times the pi key or 3.14 if you don't have a pi key. And we get 31.4 meters. I will take both versions. You should be familiar with both because depending on the word problem, it's going to demand you to use one or the other. Okay, area. Area is like this. Lightly shade that circle. Lightly shade it, please. Area is pi r squared. When I say show, you're going to show 1, 2, or 3. Area. Ready? 1, 2, or 3 dimensions. Show. 1, 2, or 3 dimensions. Show. Area is a 1-dimension, 2-dimension, or 3-dimensional concept. Cody, I can't interpret the fingers. What is it for you? Thank you. Yes. 2 dimensions. We're correct. Therefore, we use squared units here. Squared units. Pi form, area equals pi r squared. Five times 5, Fagoni.
25.
Thank you, sir. So the answer here is simply 25 pi. Watch your units. What was under there? Was it meters or centimeters? Was it meters? Meters squared. That's right. Or decimal version. 25 times pi, and you get 78.5 meters squared. Don't drop your units. Circumference, single, area, squared. It is really important you don't mix these two up. I used to, several years ago, have a chronic problem with students forgetting these. And we got so fed up this one class, I kind of stopped the class, and I said, that's it. You've got 10 minutes to come up with a way to remember this. Because we were just done. Students were mixing it up just pretty much constantly, which hindered the entire process. I had 3 ladies come up with this, so if this gets stuck in your head, I'm not to blame this time. But every year that I have used this, the effectiveness is so high. I had a senior come by 2 weeks ago that had me as a freshman. They just took the SAT. They still use this jingle to help them keep track of circumference and diameter. So you will learn this. It is a chance. Jingle, chant, same thing. Okay, when I give you a chance to sing, if you can't sing, you will at least move your lips. What I want right now is this. Stomp, clap, stomp, clap, stomp, clap, stomp. Yeah. Stomp. Come on, girl. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I lost my rhythm because Allison's giving me this really strange look. Really? Okay. Yes. Really. Everybody. Ready? Add. Stomp. Clap. Stomp. Clap. I sing it all the way through. Then you. C. C pie. I see C pie. C pie. I see C pie. Apple pie is really, really good. Apple pie is really good. From the top, there. C. C pie. I see C pie. C. C pie. I see C pie. Apple pie is really, really good. Apple pie is really, really good. Okay, I still have 5 students. Their lips are not moving. Ready? One more time. You, back at you. Move your lips. Ready? One more time. Boom. Say it with me. C. C pie. I see C pie. C. C pie. I see pie. Apple pie is really, really good. Apple pie is really, really good. Okay, let me show you. What does this mean? C D pi. I see D pi. Oh, it's all clearly now.
I'll go with the ice one.
It makes the song. It's just okay. Apple pie is really, really good. Apple pie is really, really good.
I get it. Did you give those girls extra credit?
They did. They
Wait,
did.
they made
They
up the
also,
song?
if you notice in my video notes, I've been giving them credit every single year. They're graduating from, no, I won't tell you now where they're graduating from. That makes me feel old. But, yeah.
Graduating from college now.
Yeah, they are. Alrighty, guys. Take a look, page 4. Page 4. Lauren, Courtney, and Megan from 2007.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
What was I in 2000?
Don't even start talking, guys, like that, because I remember them like yesterday, and you're going to make me feel really old if you go there, okay? Yes. That I honestly don't remember. Okay, go to the page on the right. You're going to do a problem with me, and then you're going to be on your own. Look up here. Ready? Okay, first off, we are going to change 36 to 16, because I'm going to require you to do this without a calculator. In fact, I want you to take calculators off your desk. Calculators off your desk. No, I'm not joshing you. All right, this is how I want you to read the problem. It says the circumference, underline the word circumference, of a circle is 16 pi. Find the area. Students, the first thing I usually hear after you guys supposedly read stuff is, what should I do? And I'm going to come back with,
What can I do?
can you do? So you see circumference, can you at least write the equation? Can you at least do that? Sure, it doesn't take any smarts at all to write out an equation. Do you see an equal sign here? Is. Hopefully you're getting that by now. 16 pi. Fine. Area. Can you at least write the equation for area? That's what I mean. What can you do? You can always look very closely and write equations. So we're going to write this down. C equals D pi, but we're told that C equals 16 pi meters. Okay, write those two down. Look really carefully. Quickly tell each other, what's the diameter here?
16 pi.
No, what's the diameter? Circle the D and circle 16, please. It's really important you see this. D equals 16. Raise your hand if you know right now why. Raise your hand. You know that. 16 pi. Why? Why is D 16? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Great. Tell your teammates, why is D 16? Go. Do you know why it's 16? Okay, then you guys have a responsibility to tell Amanda. Go. Do you know, Jenna, do you know why it's 16? Jenna, pay attention. Do you know why D is 16 here? Really? Good. All right.
36 divided by 2.
Wow. All right. Now, look what we want. We want radius. So if the diameter is 16, the radius is going to be 8. So I write area equals pi 8 squared. Write this down, please, Amanda. And we go here, 8 times 8 is 64 pi meters squared. That, my friends, is the correct answer. Can someone get the lights for me, please? Yeah, and you're done. Okay, no calculators. 5 minutes. No calculators. The entire page. 4, do 4, check it. This is your rapid fire. No help. Ready? Lean forward. Lean forward because you're going to work fast. Lean forward. And go. You have 5 minutes to finish this page. Go. I'll be happy to help, but you have 5 minutes. No calculators. No calculators. No calculators. Really? You want me to do number 1? We'll start. What? Yes, you start at 1, guys. So sorry. The entire page. All of page 4. Ready? Go. 5 minutes. Check it up here when you're done. I'm going to come around and help those get moving in the correct direction. So take a look at number 1. How do you find circumference? What's the circumference here? Not there.
25 meters.
Okay. 25 meters. You're done. That's it. D5. Now, what's the radius? What's the radius? 10. So it's pi r squared. Square 10. 10 times 10 is? 10 times 10 is? Good. So it's 100 pi meters squared. That's how hard that is. Do this one. Go. Focus, guys. As fast as you can. Good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Keep going.
No, you don't do that.
Oh no, it's already split.
Oh, my. It's just right.
What's the end?
It's just
40.
pi. What is your radius, ma'am?
No. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's 10 times 10?
But we're going to 18.
There you go. So that's going to be 100 pi. Okay? All right. Okay. Take a look. Focus.
That is great.
24.
How do you find circumference? Good.
Try 4.
Pi.
No.
4 plus 1.
Yeah,
right.
it's one of those pictures that
There's no talking. This is rapid fire. You're supposed to finish as fast as you can. Jenna, Cody, show me you guys can work at the same table.
we already did number 1.
Good. You should be actually finished with the whole page in about 4 minutes.
We're good.
Okay,
minutes.
so
We're on
now
3.
here is pi r squared. You can check up it there. Here's r squared. What's your r? 10. 10 times 10 is? Yeah, so it's 100 pi meters squared. She just asked.
Read check. This way.
No, that's probably not. Okay? All right, guys.
Come on.
Jenna, it's your responsibility. You may check. Yes, finish page 4 and check where you set. Patrick, focus. Okay, here we go. What's the radius? What's the radius? 7. What's 7 squared? Yes, sir.
Wait, it don't even work.
Put your pencil here. What can you do? Can you just trace it? Trace? Trace. Go all the way around. Great. I'm feeling a light bulb coming on.
You tried to put it in your
You're right. These are reduced.
Oh. I get it.
How are we doing? Good. We already did number 2. We did number 2 together. Go straight to number 3. We did number 2. Yes, you may copy it down. Yes, yes. Number 3 doesn't. Check number 4. Check your math.
And then you add 1.
Correct. I would.
Yeah.
Did you add 11? That's 216 divided by 4. Does 4 goes into 21 how many times? About what?
I guess you could divide it by 2.
Oh, she simplified it.
5
She
times,
fraction.
right? That's 20.
What's
No,
nine
because
divided by
4 is
two?
18.
Number 1 is
4.5.
Where'd you get 18 over 4? You divide it by
Because
2.
18 divided by
You get 2 over
4.
9.
You get it. If you do 17 equals
Check, go.
you get 18 equals what? Dividing 18 by 4. That's
Oh, I thought it was 7 or
Just 4 by 4. Same thing.
Guys, check 4 and go on to 6. Check 4, go on to 6. Check 4, go on to 6. Guys, you should have red pens when you come in.
Hey, Sunshine, come here.
Who's sunshine?
Are you alright? Hey, Sunshine, come here.
I thought like 4 points.
Sunshine. Give it to Daddy. I switched to new fast. What'd you get for this? Hey, we're so buddy.
You did. Right.
Students, I had you get your video notes because you can use your video notes as reference. When you finish four, go on to 6, please. Go on to 6. I'm skipping 5. 5's going to be extra credit. We're going to come back to it. Okay?
Sunshine, come here. Sunshine. Is that California?
Students, for you to get a sign off, this should be your pacing. You should finish page 6 in about 12 minutes at the 50. Then finish page 7. It's only 2 problems in 5. And then finish page 8. When you get to the bottom of page 6, you need a candy and a ruler. Candies are here. You get to keep the candy after you measure it. So keep the wrapper on so it stays clean. Rulers, after you use the rulers, please bring them back. Okay.
Because if you think about, okay, it's 200 meters.
Yes, it is. Nice call. Now, which one are you doing? Yes, not correct going that way.
But yeah, this is just 200.
Yes, yes, you may. You may use a calculator for page 6. You may use a calculator for page 6. You're going to page 6, please.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Can we skip this?
Yeah. Can I round?
Take it where? Which one are you on? Because, you have to. 20,000? What are you doing? Students, send one person from each team. I'm going to do one problem with them. Page 6, top. One person from each team, please. Send me one person from the team. Number 1's not done. Okay? One person, I need one person to read I need one person from this team, guys. Finish what? Join us. First problem together. I'll take care of that. Thank you, Priscilla.
Can I write on the screen?
Sure. Handwriting's probably better than mine anyways. Okay, we're going to do the first problem together.
Yay.
All right? Now, Lucas, come close, please.
I'll be the
Lucas,
teacher,
come close.
guys.
You're following now? Okay, step number 1. I'd like you to read the problem, Lucas, aloud for us.
Wait, can I write?
Yes, you may use a calculator. Read the problem, please, out loud. Number 1.
You say the wheel is 24 centimeters in diameter. How many revolutions will it take to travel 200 meters?
Great. What's our key words? You start underlining them, Maddie. What's our key words here? What's our key words? The fact that we have 20. What is 24? A what? A what?
Diameter.
Your thing is input. Wheel. Okay. And what are we asking? How many
Revolution.
revolutions will it take to go how far?
200 meters.
Okay. So step number 1, I'd like you to over here in the margin draw yourself a wheel.
You have
And
a
then
wheel.
what are we told about that wheel?
Diameter is
Diameter is what?
24
Centimeters. Great. And then so cross out wheel, cross out 24, cross out diameter. It's asking how many revolutions. Guys, look at here. As this wheel revolves, watch closely, Priscilla, this question's for you. As I revolve this wheel, I'm actually rolling along the circle's what? Bingo! So above revolutions, right circumference. That's really important you catch that. When we talk about a wheel turning, you're rolling along the circumference. Okay? All right. Now, do you see here we have centimeters and here we have meters? I'd like you to circle with a different color, centimeters and meters. Okay? You need to tell your groups this. You need to convert before you crunch. Convert before you crunch. Convert your units before you crunch your numbers. So if this is 200 meters, how can you change that into centimeters? Students, you have no time to socialize.
I need to travel.
Where I see no work.
So I'm gonna do the math for it.
Make sure that other people are actually showing the work and you're responsible for explaining.
Whoa! We all do work here.
Okay, if you don't know how to do one, stick down there.
How do you change it to into meters?
How many centimeters in a
Into
meter?
centimeters.
100. So we're going to do 100 times 200. Count how many zeros.
1,000.
There's 4 zeros there. So it's 1,
2,000.
2, 3, comma. It's 20,000 centimeters.
Oh, my bad.
4 zeros. Okay, now how do you find circumference? Lucas, stay up here with me, please, because you're going to have to teach your team. How do you find circumference? How do you find circumference, Lucas? What's the equation for circumference? Pi times C.
Just kidding.
You're getting it wrong. C.
D pi. D.
That's why we sing the song. C, D, pi. Yes. So the diameter is 24. Times it by the pi key. So you can pick up the calculator down here. It's right here. Calculator, pick it up. So you take 24 times pi. 24 times the pi key. Grab the calculator. Do 24 times pi. Let's see.
Where the heck is the pi key? Where is it? Yeah. I can't find it.
Times pi, 3.14. I don't care. Times 3.14. It's fine. 1, 4. Write it down. Okay, equals. Great. Write that down, please. Take it to the first step.
75.36.
And then unit squared.
Shut up.
Okay, you know what? Jenna, you really don't function well in that video.
You can say that to me.
You're describing, okay, and you're
Oh, that
distracted.
was.
Alright?
I was telling you the circumference of the graph.
Work. And then
Well,
you
we're just stuck on this.
Then you go on to something.
So we're stuck on this.
Then you go on to
Because I like the mints. They hurt. They burn. Don't judge me. Look at me. I like brown better. I like your brown eyes better.
Okay, now you got the circumference. Now you're going to take 20,000 and divide by that.
So, divided by.
Okay, now I'd like you to circle the 50. Now you're going to take this number. So then it's 265. Okay, so what is your diameter here? You know what diameter is? It is big. Good. And how can you find your radius? Can you find the radius?
265.3.
Go on to number 3.
Me?
Yeah.
Do you want me to erase something?
No, I'm just curious. I don't have that to do. I do a lot of it in my head. Like, you know what?
Do you have a problem?
No, you mean
Thank you. Thank you. No. 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 You're done. It's fun, okay? You're a waste of time. So your answer is 265.3. I already saw this.
Definitely have a zone. Oh, piece of corn definitely.
Okay. Can I erase all this now? Stroke.
Oh, I think
right now is an area. I haven't done it yet. What? Not a 3. 81.3.
Sorry. I'm playing.
Hey, Jenna, since you don't work well over there, you should come over here. We'll trade prospects. Russell doesn't even like me. Jenna, he called me ugly, then he said that he looks like a monkey. Because I called him ugly. Then he doesn't like his skin, but he doesn't wish he was white.
Patrick, you need to go to the office. Every time I circle by, the only person that actually knows right now alright? You did. You're all guys, for problem 4, you actually need candy and a ruler. You get to eat the candy when you're done. Candy and the ruler's up here. Priscilla, I think these are your glasses here.
So, okay, so I already equals that, and then you divide by 5. R squared equals approximately. And then I think you divide it by 2. And then you do the square root. When you get 4 and 4 rulers.
What?
9. So, radius.
We get one for every single person.
Wait,
Four. Jordan, there's not that many rules. I don't want to take them all. I'll take 2. I'll get 2. Oh yeah, make sure you get some of these for the class.
You disgust me. And being in the same room as you makes me want to throw up. Because you smell.
Make me cry.
Like,
I don't like your jacket.
I don't like your face.
I don't like.
Where are the green ones?
I don't like anything about you.
Okay, so
Like, just the stench of you, like, makes me want to throw up.
the way you like look at everything makes me want to cry.
The way you just, like, walk away from me is just, like, really disgusting.
Like, get out of here.
It makes me want to get sick.
I just threw up.
Like, I just threw up in my mouth.
9 is 18. Oh, diameter. Oh, yeah.
How we doing? Where are you selecting? Is 55. What is 55? Yeah, so right. 55, right? 55. Now what is your diameter? Great. How did you find your radius?
Maybe you'll look like that when you're older.
Yeah, I'll be in the classic school, young people, so ungrateful kids like you guys. I just don't know most
Why not just do something?
Cody, you need to go to the board and check your work.
you anything. Excuse me, I don't need it. It's gonna be a bit. I just sitting there, doing nothing, big old smiley grin. I don't like you.
Yeah, we're having a
Stop talking everything. Rulers are up there.
You know you can't die by I'll give you fake.
That's what I've heard.
What problem are you? Finish page 6. You're not leaving this classroom until page 6 is done. Patrick, you're not leaving this classroom until page 6 is done. David, what problem are you on? Okay, good. All right, good. Ready? Okay, so you're going to put
TV's all over her couch. Yes, I know. Okay, so her brother's made on the crowd and lost her and she's fainted and she's all over the couch. Yep.
Oh, hey.
Stop, David.
Good, and then trace the other one. How many halves of circles do we have? Two. If we were to guess. Okay. If we were to put those two halves together, then it's shape. No, it's not 3. Yes, how did you find that length? Okay, yes.
Write it down.
Okay. Sam?
What does that even do? Oh, I think it's what is that now?
Circle. What am I doing? I'm tracing the circumference. How do you find circumference?
D pi.
When you half the circle, half the circle is all the way around. I find the right all the way around. No, ma'am. How do you find the right?
You guys got the 80 together.
That's what What's that? Happily. Okay. That's right. Sorry. Okay. So your pencil right there. That's you. Yes, that's you. Yes, it would be. Guys, make sure you're only up here if you're correcting your answers here. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Sorry there. Patrick, how are you doing? Okay, no, you're not, because you're not done yet. We have 2, 5, 4, 4, 6 equals pi raised squared. I'd like you to solve for pi.
My calculator.
You're not wearing freaking green.
Yeah.
Now, you know that one.
You guys didn't know.
Good. And you know this one. Okay, fine. This
My life, sorry. Why are you looking? Oh, you're in around. You're a little too wild, Katie.
That's why we're trying to go winner scores.
Winner, you mean three?
Oh, wow.
What?
What?
Yeah.
That's incorrect. 2, 5, 4, 4, 6, 5 are squared. I'm going to give you another problem. If I have 3x squared equals 12, solve for x.
Wait, are you here?
High school classes, please dismiss the spring sport athletes in the gym right now. The spring sport athletes. Also, just a little additional information on JV baseball music today. JV baseball players meet in the amphitheater after school today. Meet in the amphitheater after school today. JV baseball. Thank you. We meet for practice.
Alright, thank you. Students, if you did not finish, yes, it actually does become homework. Okay, I'm sorry, it's because of the rally. Yesterday we had 10 additional minutes. You're not leaving this classroom as long as I have candy wrappers on my floor, so I'd like everyone to bend down real quick, find a single candy wrapper and pick it up.
I just found like 4 candy wrappers.
Okay, look at what you did. Step one is you divided and you got rid of that, right? And then you should look at it. So I'm going to follow the same step over here. How did you get rid of 5? Yes, do that with both sides.
Yours. You know about anything.
I know you know about anything.
I know everything, so I don't need to.